Welcome, Trinidad and Tobago, the wider Caribbean, the diaspora, wherever you may be viewing from and whoever you may be. We welcome you to another episode of Book Club Corner. Today we have an amazing author as usual, and we are also observing and celebrating International Literacy Month. So obviously, when we come to books and we're talking about books, literacy is a big part of that, right? The authors would not be needed if no one could read. So we have to make sure we talk about literacy and make sure that we have quite a literate population as well as a global population, whether it's nationally, regionally, or internationally. And I just want to put out there, if you are illiterate, which means you are unable to read or your reading isn't up to par, please, we're putting it out there that there are two organizations that can help you. That's all they're meant to do. And that is ALTA in Trinidad, ALTA, and they have classes starting soon. And there is also the Tobago Literacy Institute with the amazing, wonderful Mrs. Susan Sandiford. She has been an educator for a number of years, so she is perfectly suited to help you get your literacy where it should be. So please feel free to contact them. And for World Literacy Day, that was on September the 8th, as well as Literacy Month, we want to make sure that we take care of our literacy. If you're a functional literate, please remember that you can always bring up your literacy skills. So without any further ado, we want to introduce our amazing author. I'm going to tell you all the great things about her, right? Her name is Yishebah Baht Gavriel, and she is the author of Clever Chrissie and the Mango Stories. She's also the founder and manager of the former service at Lily Rose Domestic Abuse Counseling Service, a mental health professional in cognitive therapy, operations English tutorial assistant at Walworth After School Club, and the former achievement and motivational consultant at Bromley Adult Education College. Welcome, Yishebah.
Thank you very much, Joel. I am so honored and delighted to be here on this platform and looking forward to our sip and chat.
Listen, I am so enthused about you. The amount of accolades you had, I only got to put a few there, right? We know that you have so many others, right? Radio personality, TV person. Listen, she's Grandma Wiseau sometimes, right?
I am.
And we're gonna get into all of that, but just to let you know, folks, if you're watching, please get your drinks. You know how we do it on Book Club Corner. This is a sip and chat. We love to talk about books in a very relaxed way. And today I am sipping on some coconut water, right? The best hydration fluid you can find out there, right? And if you can't find coconut water and you're in dire straits, right, try hydration salts. But we're from the Caribbean. We have access to fresh and, just crisp coconut water at the drop of a hat. And I'm having some coconut water. What are you having, Yishebah?
I am having beet and red apple juice, which I made myself specifically for the show.
Oh,
So
I
there.
love it. I love it. So cheers to you, Yishebah. And cheers to
Cheers,
all our
Joel.
viewers. Cheers to all our viewers. If you don't have something to drink and sip and snack on, please go get something quickly. We're going on a quick break so you can go grab a snack, get something to drink. Even if it is a nice glass of water, right? Get yourself something, sit down and cock up your foot, cross your legs, right? And relax yourself. We're getting into it today. We're going on a quick break. And when we come back, we'll continue chatting with our author, Yishebah Baht Gavriel, about her book, The Clever Chrissie and the Mango Story series. And we're going to be giving you some mango news coming up. So don't go far. We're going to be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to another episode of Book Club Corner. We're chatting here today with the beautiful, amazing, colorful Yishebah Baht Gavriel, the author of the Clever Chrissie and Mango Stories series. Welcome back, Yishebah.
Thank you very much for having me back.
Listen, when I read the name of your book, right? Because we've been chatting so long about you. We're good friends. So I've known you
Yeah, we
quite a
are.
while. And when I heard you said, I'm going to write a book about mangoes. It's going to be about, this little girl and mangoes. And I said, oh, that sounds delicious. I love mangoes. Who doesn't love? Well, I mean, there
You
are
and
people who
me.
don't love it, but we love mangoes. What was it about mangoes, your Caribbean heritage? Because you now live in London, right? What was it
I've been here
about
since
that?
1979.
Wow. What was it about your experience growing up in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, as a youth with mangoes that made you want to write a book about it?
Yeah, I love that question very much because it's the answer to the reason why this book has been filtered through the prism of my childhood experience. Born in Trinidad, Point Fortin, the third smallest town in Trinidad after San Fernando, Port of Spain and San Fernando. And I grew up in an area where we had loads of different types of mangoes in the street where I live. At the back of our house, there was a mango long tree, or mango vert as it's called, the French version. At the front, there was a small Julie mango tree grafted, which my dad did. The opposite side of the road, there was a calabash mango tree. So mangoes have been really the fruit of our lives growing up in a very large family. So mango was breakfast sometimes, mango was lunch, dinner, snack in between. Mangoes was savory, sweet, cooked raw. So, but for me, I had a special love of mangoes. When my grandmother, who was a midwife and lives with us, she said that I went from being weaned from breast milk to sucking mangoes because I think my mother used to, my mother used to, my grandma used to squeeze the mango long from the tree we had at the back of the house, pierce a hole at the bottom, and give it to me to suck. So that sucking reflex is so very much like embedded in your psyche, your experience as a child, especially going from breast milk to mangoes. But I just grew this special attachment to mangoes. So that's all in my subconscious, landscape, my subconscious sphere. So when I 6 decades on, when my first grandchild was born in 2015, 2.5 years afterwards, he was given a mango by his dad. His dad is Jamaican, of course, we Caribbean, even though we are diaspora, we love our mangoes. And the way in which that boy, that my oldest grandson, he he the way in which he was having that mango, I mean, it was like how he would do when he's being breastfed, and he was squeezing the mango, and then he was mauling the mango seed. And that witnessing that experience, it really took me straight back to my childhood growing up in Trinidad, and how I used to love sucking the mango seed and squeezing it, and it was just a trigger. So the book became filtered through the prism of my own childhood, and that's how it blossomed. But that was a conception, and that's how it grew. So it's really a kind of cheeky take on my own experience through Chrissie, who I was able to filter my younger experience with mangoes through the character.
As you talk, the different ways and methods that we consume mangoes in the Caribbean, I have to say, it was, I have that cousin who used to do the same thing. She would take a mango, especially long mango, right? Mango fair, mango long.
Mm.
She would pong this mango until it was pulverized. I mean, she'd find the
Yes.
nearest wall and just pong it. And I used to be like, my God, what is she doing? She'd put it in the fridge. And when it was nice
Hmm.
and cold and chilled, she would put a hole in it and she would sit there
Yes.
and have her mango. Well, it's a mango drink now. That's no longer a mango,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
So, the ways we consume mangoes, right? Whether you squeeze it, you have to pulverize it and then chill it. Some people like the mango almost frozen so they could eat it like an ice cream straight off, right? Some
Yes.
people like mango juice, mango puree, right? We have
Ice
chutneys
cream.
and
Mango
sauce.
ice cream is
Yeah,
quite nice.
mango ice cream, mango punch, mango drink. Listen, but for
Yeah.
those of us, like myself, who are lovers of the pure version, I'm a purist, right? I want my mango whole, firm. I don't want no soft spots, right? I want my mango firm and mostly half ripe because I like that acid balance in it, right? Some of these mangoes too
Mm-hmm.
sweet. Let me give you some mango news. So when I did my research, there are two types of mangoes, people, right? There's the Indian type of mango and there's the the Southeast Asian type of mango. And the Indian type of mango, that's a mono embryonic seed, and that mango gives you this very red, rosy looking, like a Christmas light on a tree type looking when it gets ripe. And the Southeast Asian mango is, for instance, long mango. When it's ripe, it's still giving you that kind of green color. You have to really understand mangoes to know when that Southeast Asian mango is ripe. Otherwise, you'll miss it, right? The birds will get to it before you do. So just some quick mango news for you. If you love a mango and you're picking up a mango next time, look and see if it has a reddish color. That's the Indian type you're getting, or if it's a Southeast Asian with that green, not giving away that it's ripe. That is that type of mango. And sometimes we even have grafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what kind of mango is Chrissie's favorite mango? And how old is Chrissy?
Okay. Chrissy is 6 years old.
And already a mango
In
connoisseur.
this, she is indeed. That's right. Yes.
What's her favorite
Chrissy's
mango?
favorite, I would say she's got three loves. First of all, mango long or mango vert is her, I would say, her favorite from childhood, because her grandma Wiso used to, that was grandma's favorite mango, because grandma only had one tooth left. So she loved the mango long, which, as you've described, that's the one that you could pound, you could pulverize, and then you could pierce a hole and you could enjoy it, because she couldn't eat the mangoes like that. So mango long is my childhood love mango. As I grew older, the two mangoes that I really love is doodles and calabash. Mango starch is also I love, but you see, doodles and calabash,
Mm-hmm.
those two are my favorite mangoes. My least love mango is mango rose.
Really?
Yes, I never loved mango rose. I've written about it in my next book. I
Mm-hmm.
would eat it if no other mango was available. But yeah.
Oh my gosh, how dare you? I've never met a mango I
I
haven't loved. I love mangoes. I'm putting it out there into the ethos. Mangoes, I love you. Come my way, please.
no, I say I would enjoy any kind of mango. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, in
yeah.
a hierarchy of my
Mm-hmm.
preference, mango rose will come lower than mango vert, mango doodles, and mango calabash.
Yes. Oh, listen, I love mango calabash, but my favorite would be mango John. A lot of people, when I say it, say mango who? Mango John.
Yeah, because I've never heard of mango John. Maybe it's
Mango.
only in Tobago. I haven't heard of it in
No,
Trinidad.
actually, Mango John is. I only found it in Trinidad, which is where I grew up. We
Oh.
usually, yeah, in Caroni. Some that listen, Mango John is a very hairy mango, but it's not as
Mm.
sweet. It's very so you could eat mango. You could eat as much. The best thing about Mango John is that when you finish eating it, my cousins used to shampoo it. It's very hairy. You
All
shampoo it
right.
and
Okay.
comb the hair and
Yes.
plait it.
Yeah. Yes. And put a face on it. You put eyes and
Yes,
oh,
listen, you
okay.
have fun with mangoes. So, you know,
Okay.
when I saw you write about it, I just said to myself, this story has so many ways it can go. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
let's get into where what you've been doing, because you've been quite a busy bee with your book.
Mm-hmm.
You took a trip. Tell us about that, and let's bring up some of those photos. You recently was part of a book fair in another continent. Tell us about that.
Yes, it was such a what I would say a brilliant opportunity that came my way after translating my book into the languages, French, German, and Spanish. The brother who is the founder of the multilingual translation service, he's based in Ghana, and in the course of that conversation, he informed me of the Ghana's annual 21st annual book fair that's coming up, and he think it'll be a good opportunity for me to come over there. I had never been to Africa before, and it was such a brilliant opportunity. I always wanted to go to the motherland and to have the reason for going to promote my book and to attend this auspicious annual book fair was the experience I couldn't really forego. So I did head off on the 8th of August to Ghana. It's a 4 day book fair, but I arrived on the actual day it was launched, and I was there for the second, the third, and the fourth day, and it was a monumental experience. Ghana has got so many publishers, so many illustrators, so many bookstores, authors, and literary organizations. The National Convention Center in Accra, where this event was held, I had never been in a place with so many books. Every inch of that floor, that massive building, was filled with bookstores and with authors and illustrators and people launching their books, doing businesses in sales and distribution. It was phenomenal. And one of the things that really impressed me was a lot of these books are actually published in Ghana, and their illustrators are based in Ghana. And I was walking around these stalls. The images of those books were literally wanting to jump off the cover of the page and speak to you. So the caliber of book production in Ghana is really second to none. In fact, one of the stories in the Chrissie brand took birth in Ghana, and I'm going to have it published in Ghana, launched in Ghana. They also had one of the things that really I took to my heart was the fact that it was very child centered, and it was also eco centered. They're looking at like pollution in Ghana with the arrival of mining, etc. And also it was very child centered. 2 major days of the event, they had children from schools across Ghana. In fact, one of the events, the whole hall, I don't know, about 500 or more people were children from different schools. And the authors actually spoke, they did read aloud, they engaged the children, encouraged them to read, encouraged them to write, encouraged them to ask the authors questions. It was so my kind of book fair because I'm very interactive. I'm also a storyteller. So when I go into a school, a library, a preschool, I engage with the children, make them part of the story, make them leave wanting to write their own story. And this event in Ghana it really took me into another sphere of the literary world. And I'm so grateful. And it really, doing book tours opened great doors because I met a Singaporean TV producer and children's. She produces content for children, and she was so impressed with my stall and with the cushion covers. She came straight through, gave me a business card, and invited me to come to Singapore. She said when she finishes her travels in sourcing like diverse, multicultural, world reflective images to take back, that she wants me to come to Singapore.
Oh
I
my
was like,
goodness.
what? And she
Congratulations.
said, you've got gold. She said, you've got gold written all over you.
Oh
She
my
said, I
gosh.
was, I was absolutely shocked. So I'm waiting for her to get
Yeah.
back to Singapore to arrange and maybe have my book bilingually translated in Malay and English.
Ah, that's amazing. As you say, translated in Malay, your book has been, it's now available in 4 languages. You started off with one, and now it's available in 4 languages. It's available in English, French, Spanish, as well as German, right?
Hmm.
And this is the German
Yes.
cover, right? And then this is the Spanish cover, and the next would be the French cover. Tell us about your inspiration and motivation to have the book translated into 4 languages, removing language barriers and giving children really the ability to participate and to engage in this Caribbean culture.
Yes, thank you very much for that question. First of all, having been born and brought up in Trinidad, we have a multilingual, multi-ethnic heritage anyway. We have the Indians with the Hindu language, and also we have the Spanish with the Spanish language heritage, which is really embedded in our Trinidadian culture, psyche, and identity. Parang, for example, is one of the colonial linguistic heritage we've inherited. So I first thought about in my conception. I thought about Hindi, and then I thought, well, most of them they speak the English anyway. The next language that came to me was Spanish, because Spanish was my second love language growing up in Trinidad. I did live in Venezuela for a year because I wanted to go there after studying a bit of Spanish at school. I wanted to go to learn the language, so I spent a year in Maracaibo and Caracas. So that embedded my love of Spanish, language. And then I thought about the whole of so-called South and Central and Latin America and that audience there. And I also thought about the now we have the refugees from Venezuela, as well as the heritage of Spanish being a second language in Trinidad. So initially, I thought I'm going to do it in Spanish, and then at least when I come to Trinidad, we can have the bilingual experience, the English and the Spanish. And then it came to me, we've got the French-speaking Caribbean, and in 1999, I did a special history tour of Europe, and we went to Berlin, and the Afro-German community came and spoke with us. They shared their experiences of marginalization, of lack of representation, and the history, and how they were trying to enrich, the original cultures in this diaspora experience. So we met for the French people, the African people in the French diaspora, and also met them in um, in Germany, in Berlin. I haven't been to Spain, but of course, with Spanish being the second language, naturally that's the first place I'll go because I do speak some Spanish. I've forgotten a lot of it, but once I get into the environment, it conversationally comes to me. So I thought if I just do one by one, why not do those 3 European languages? So when I begin my tour in Europe with the African diaspora communities, it will be just kind of, almost like an organic flow from one country to another, or, on a schedule. So I've got the European tours to do to promote the book in French, Spanish, and German, with the African, starting with the African diaspora communities there, and also the Caribbean, French and Spanish speaking community, whole of South Central Latin America, even Florida. So yeah, it couldn't be just monolinguist language. It had to be in different languages because of the global diaspora and the need for our stories to be told in all these areas.
Yes. Listen, I think you're onto something. I think you hit gold with this idea of translating it into so many languages. You know, sometimes we want our books to go into the international spaces, meaning we want them to be able to traverse outside of the region, but we don't think of the language barrier that exists in different territories. And I applaud you, Yishebah, that you had that vision and forethought to make sure that your book would be available in the different languages. And these are, you know, French, Spanish, English, and German. And hopefully we'll be seeing the book in Malays as well as in what is spoken in Ghana. Is it Yoruba in Ghana? What is spoken there?
Well, most of the children who came spoke Twi. So
Mm.
yeah, TWI. So that, and I'm doing Swahili. Swahili is widely spoken across Africa. So I'll do it in Twi and Swahili later on. But you know, it's interesting you should mention that because I think yeah, one or two African centered scholar activists were a bit quizzical about why the European, you know, why European languages. And once I explained to them that they don't forget the African diaspora communities are embedded in these Eurocentric, you know, kind of monolithic historical cultures. And once I mentioned the diaspora communities, then they got it, because you know, why not
Yeah.
African languages? And I
Mm-hmm.
had to say, listen, in Africa, at least the children have their representation in their image, in their culture, and they have that to sustain them psychologically in terms of their identity in spite of the countries being colonized. Whereas when you are in a diaspora environment, the issue of representation and selfhood is so significant for your survival and your thriving in those environments. That's why I chose those languages first, because then I'll be taking the image, the culture. When I show up and these children see me, whether they're from Suriname or Guyana, when I show up with a book that was written in the environment that the extended region that they're from, that alone, you know, gives them that new sense of self and representation and selfhood. So they got it clear once I explained why I chose those languages first.
Mm-hmm. You listen, you're such a multidimensional author. I can't stress this enough. Authors out there, if you're here listening to Book Club Corner or you know of an author, let's have this conversation about making sure our books are translated into multiple languages and therefore being able to be experienced in different spaces. Listen, we're going on a quick break. And when we come back, we are going to be chatting with Yishebah Baht Gavriel about her return home. She did a trip back to Trinidad and Tobago because you now live in London. She came home to Trinidad and Tobago this year and toured Trinidad and Tobago with her book. And when we come back, we'll be chatting about her book tour in Trinidad and Tobago. Cheers to you. See you in a few minutes. Don't go far. Back to Book Club Corner in a few minutes. Welcome back, viewers across the world, the Caribbean, wherever you may be watching us from. We're here chatting with the amazing author Yishebah Baht Gavriel and her book, The Clever Chrissie and the Mango Story series. Yishebah, you came home in 2024, right? You came to Trinidad and Tobago and you toured. Tell us about that experience, one of coming home during mango season, right? And what that experience was for you and touring the different locations, schools and libraries across Trinidad and Tobago.
Jewel, that experience for me was, first of all, it was a homecoming, and there were two prongs. One, reuniting with my family who I hadn't seen for decades. My siblings, both my parents, are no longer with us, but I've got altogether 10 siblings. We're all alive, and three in the U.S., seven in Trinidad. So first of all, it was a reunion, and the reunion was also part of a childhood reawakening, a childhood
Yeah.
return to the experiences that really shaped me and through which my book became filtered. So it
Mhm.
was very personal. It was emotional. As I say, I hadn't seen my siblings. When my dad passed in 1981, I was able to return for the funeral. When my mother did in 2018, in 2018, I wasn't able to go because of the immigration bacchanal they had here. But so on the first instant, it was that emotional, and it was that reunion. And
Yeah.
then once that was embraced and processed, then it was to be returning to those places and spaces that have all been part of my love of books, reading, and writing. As a child, we had a very large family in Trinidad. 11 children, my
Mm.
grandmother, and my mom and dad. So I was always someone, I loved my headspace, and I used to spend a lot of time like creatively in an imaginative world. And with the crowded space, I was very good at getting into my head or climbing trees or going into open savannas so I can have my own space.
Mm.
I also love spending time in the library. The library was my home away from home. And to this day, there wouldn't be a day, a week pass by with my not finding some library to go in, because
Yeah.
when my when my world at home was kind of claustrophobic, and even though I loved the large family, the fun, etc., I needed to get out of my head and my and those spaces. So the library was a world in my immediate experience, but it was also opening up worlds for me. I used to read a lot about travels, England, other parts of the world, and I used to just immerse myself in the window and the wings of books in the library. So going back to Trinidad, I went to the Point Fonte Library, where I spent so many years as a child, wandering and traveling the world without even moving, through a plane or a boat. I traveled so many places that accepted me for nursing. I actually got from the Point Frontier Library and wrote to them. So returning to the actual library that was part of my world of writing was an amazing, amazing experience. And then going back to the school, Capdeville Government School, I went back to the actual school where my love of language was nurtured. I mean, I had the best English teacher, and I love language so much, especially English language. I used to write the most brilliant essays, and my teacher loved me for that. And I was able to find him. My sister took me to him. He's 90 years old, Mr. Cato, and he was so delighted to see me. He's still as fit and slim, and I was able to relate to to him as being my teacher, and marking my essays and commending me so much on my command of language and my rich vocabulary and my flow. So yes, so it was really like it was a retracing my childhood and my school years through the tour, and to be able to have gone back and give back. He had a copy of my book which I signed for him. When I went to the library prior to getting there, I'd sent them about 5 copies of my book so that it's in the library. So both my school and the library had copies of my book before I arrived. So when I got there, I was able to do the book reading and the storytelling and the singing the songs and the dances and engaging the children. And something that really touched me was my first event was at the mayor's office, the mayor of Point Fortin. And I really must commend and thank you for suggesting to me some of the key strategic places I should go. And you suggested the mayor's office. And I immediately contacted my sister, only to discover that a close cousin of mine is the chief executive to the mayor at the Point Fonte borough in Trinidad. So, of course, she set everything up for me. And even though they were very busy, the mayor gave me a personal audience with him and his chief executive and other staff. And when he saw that point 14 was written in the book, and that I even had a map where I showed point 14, where Chrissy was,
Ah.
he was, I mean, his response. I've got some iconic photos I would be including in my write up of the tour. When the mayor saw that the book, and don't forget he's the mayor of the borough, point 14 is actually identified, his response was almost childlike, but also in his mayoral role, he was so proud and so appreciative that, after being abroad since the 70s, that I should put his borough constituency, registered visually in the book. His response really touched me immensely. He was smiling, and he couldn't stop really oozing this pride that she has got my borough in the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, he really embraced that, and I'll share some photos later on in terms of his boyish experience, and reflection came.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to those two key places, the library and my school, was really quite emotional. I was just so excited and so pleased. And not only that, the headmistress, who was already introduced to me through my sister, who is the ambassador for the book, for the Chrissie brand stories, the principal said to me that they have, because I wanted to give something back to the school, and I said I'd like to do like an award, like a storytelling award, and to come and then present the children with certificates that's designed in England. And she was very pleased about that, but she said that they do have a school kitchen garden project which
Mm.
require support. So because she said that when the corn and the melangen and the peas, when these vegetables come to fruition, she said not only do the children get to eat it and to eat healthily, but also the parents who may be having different levels of food poverty challenges, they are able to take some of the produce home, and the parents can
Mm.
prepare it. So I thought that was just so. And the children, I've got photos of them in the garden, which there'll be images of that in my next book, Clever Christie and the Mango Essay. So she said that's an area where they could do with some, with some benefit. So that project,
Mm-hmm.
that point 14, that Capdeville government school project, home garden project, is something that I would be definitely supporting financially, and fundraising, so that that could continue. Because I remember when we were growing up, sometimes we were hungry, and even though they had a milk and biscuit, like supplementary,
Mm-hmm. School
like
feeding.
food in
Mm-hmm.
the school feeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was 11 of us, and
Yeah.
before my dad got this good job with the government, we used to have challenges. That's why mango was such an important
Mm-hmm.
supplement,
Mm-hmm.
for us. So I'm definitely. I just want to finish in by next week to have my two other books, including the coloring book. The coloring book will be out like next week, but
Mm-hmm.
my other two books, when the other two books are out, which will be in the next couple of weeks, then I'll be able to focus on my strategy for fundraising for that Capdeville government school garden, nourishment project. And I would
Yes.
definitely love to go back and also to inspire the children to become
Yeah.
children authors, and then to do a storytelling competition, and then to go back and present them with certificates, with their name in it. If they can do like an anthology, the class can do
Yes.
like an anthology. Each person write a story about mangoes or whatever fruit that they like, put it together. I can get it published here in England, and that book could also be a fundraiser for their project. So that's my next giving
Mm-hmm.
back to the place that really so embed in me such a love of the English language. It's just Yes, to give something back and to keep
Yeah.
giving something back to inspire the children would be amazing.
I just want, the first of all, I want to congratulate you for giving back, right? Many times we go on to do great things from our humble beginnings, and we don't always go back, right? We don't always go back to say thanks. We don't always go back to help. Authors out there, if you're listening, if you're
Mm,
tuned into Book Club Corner, I'm putting it out there to you. Take a book from this author's page, Yishebah Baht Gavriel. She went back to her alma mater primary school and is now going to be helping with their kitchen garden project. You can pick anything you want, whether you're donating books, whether you're helping with school uniforms, whether you're assisting in terms of the upgrades of the school, right? It could be
mm,
painting the school, it could be doing a mural, it could be getting the children to even start their own book, right? As you're talking about Yishebah,
mm,
the anthology. So many ideas and opportunities for us to go back to our schools. And I'm taking a page out of your book as well, Yishebah. I'm going to be going back to any of the schools I have gone to. Right, my mom was a
mm.
teacher, so we went to a few schools because she was not one of those teachers who wanted to stay in one school. So I went to Cunupia Government Primary, I went to Arima West, Arima New Government.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went to about 3 primary schools, and we started in Cunupia. I was what 4 years old, 3, 4 years old in Cunupia Government. So hats off to teachers, hats off to students, and just putting it out
Hmm.
there. Authors, this is a really good way to give back to your community, to give back to your school what they have put in you, and as well to market your book. Don't forget that part. You still have to do the marketing for your book and exposure. So congrats to you, Yishebah. Authors, you've heard it right here on Book Club Corner. Some really good free book marketing advice and suggestions for you to take away. Before we go on this quick break, I just have one quick question for you, because when we come back from this break, you're going to be reading to us, right, Yishebah?
Yes. Yeah.
My most
Which
favorite
I love.
time of Book Club Corner.
Yes. I love it as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
I'm seeing a cushion behind you, and I'm seeing on that cushion behind you the Chrissie
Hmm.
cover. So I want to
Yes.
ask you, when you're doing this, so you have some plush, what we call some soft furnishing, so the
Hmm.
children could hug up this Chrissie cushion, right? They
Absolutely.
hug up the
Yes.
pillow and read and get read too about clever Chrissie and the mango
Absolutely.
stories. I love it.
Yes.
Listen, you
Yes,
get it?
I do.
Yeah, tell me about this quickly.
Yes, I usually take these to the library, preschool, primary schools, and I scatter them. The children have them, and as I tell the story, they can caress, they can touch it. It's also for people with children with sensory sensitive
Mm,
needs, and they can see it. And I've got all the characters in the book in cushion covers, so I use the covers also to tell the story.
fantastic. Listen, authors, there is so much to take away from this particular author. Just putting out there. If you don't know what to do, you have no ideas of your own, listen, don't need to reinvent the wheel. All of these ideas are available for you to use. You can do some of these, especially if you're a children author. I love that you're doing that. And it allows the children to, one, have these merchandise items in their homes. Sometimes we go out there and we
Hmm.
buy Superman things and Batman things. And listen, go and get a clever Chrissie and a Mango series stories cushion covers for your child, right?
Yes. Yes.
Support our local culture and our authors that are writing and sharing our Caribbean stories. We're going on a quick break. I am going to put you on your P's and Q's, people. Get a drink, get a snack, get comfy, get your cushion, relax yourself. We're going on a quick break, and when we come back, Yishebah is going to be reading to us from her book, The Clever Chrissie and Mango Stories series. So see you very soon. Welcome back, viewers across the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, wherever you may be. We are in our most favoritist. Can I say that as a bibliophile, right? We're in our most favorite time of Book Club Corner, where we get read to. And we have the author, Yishebah Baht Gavriel, she'll be reading from her book. So I admonish you, get comfy. She'll be doing some reading for us, right? From Clever Chrissie and the Mango Stories. Yishebah, take it away.
Thank you very much. I'll start at the back of the book with the blurb. Chrissie lives at home with her parents, sister, Nita, and Grandma Wiseau in Trinidad and loves eating mangoes. But when Chrissie hides a mango from her sister, Nita, and best friend, Camilla, and refuses to share, Grandma Wiseau teaches her a lesson she will never forget. So the question is posed, will Chrissie keep her mangoes from her sister and Camilla, or will Grandma Wiseau save the day? The book is illustrated by Mona Campbell, a brilliant illustrator here, and published by Conscious Dreams Publishing, and is dedicated to my grandson, a photo of him in the book, who was the inspirational trigger for the story. Clever Chrissie was a bright and funny little 6-year-old girl. She loved to laugh, sing, play, and dance. Chrissie loved mango fruit but did not like to share with her 3 sisters and 7 brothers, especially the little sister Nita. And you can see Chrissie here, she's looking at that mango with longing eyes and hoping nobody's around to see her when she's ready to nyam down. Chrissie and her family lived in a country with 2 islands, Trinidad and Tobago. She lived in Trinidad in a place called Point 14. She lived with her grandma Wiseau, Daddy Joe, and Mommy Tina. They grew many mangoes. And here is a map of Trinidad and Tobago. And her image there at Point 14, way down south. Yum, 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 Chrissie would say, smacking her lips, as she did when she always wanted a mango. Chrissie had a beautiful voice. She loved to sing her favorite song with Nita and best friend Camilla. She loved playing tricks on her sisters and brothers, friends, and even her grandma. Why was she brave? Yes? Guess what else Chrissie loved to do? She loved playing with numbers and making up rhymes like this. Mango, mango, mango. I love me mango, love them so. Give me a mango, I'm ready to go. Bite into it and the juices flow. Mango, mango, mango. Chrissie, can you sing the mango song, please? Asked Nita. Come, Camilla, let's sing our mango song together before we go under the mango tree to find some mangoes, said Chrissie. Let's sing together. All you come now. Let we start. Mango, 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 mango ripe, mango sweet, mango ripe, mango sweet. I want a penny to buy, mango ripe, mango sweet. Give me a penny to buy, mango ripe, mango, mango, sweet. The mango tree at the back of the house had many ripe mangoes. The wind started blowing. Shh, whoosh, whoosh. Boodoo, boodoo. What's that noise? Nita asked. That's the sound of mangoes falling from the tree, Nita, Camilla answered. Quick, let's run and get the mangoes before the bird eat them up, exclaimed Chrissie, smacking her lips. As they skipped and hopped to the big mango tree at the back of the house, Chrissie repeated her rhyme that she made up. Mango, mango, mango. I love me mango, love them so. Give me a mango, I'm ready to go. You bite into it and the juices flow. Mango, mango, mango. There were 2 mangoes on the ground under the mango tree. Chrissie grabbed the big ripe one and left the one eaten by the bird for Camilla. Little sister Nita did not find any mango. Give me a bite of your mango, Chrissie, please, Nita begged. I ain't find no mango, Nita, she cried. She was very sad and went inside the house. Oh no, shouted Camilla. I cannot eat my mango. The bird ate it up. She was very sad too. I know, Cammy, said Chrissie. Let's sing my special song to the bird on the tree, and it might drop a mango down for you. Chrissie had the only good mango and did not want to share it with her friend and her sister. The two girls danced under the big mango tree and sang the birdie song. Chrissy's dad had taught her this song for her bedtime lullaby. Little birdie on the tree, on the tree, on the tree. Little birdie on the tree, sing a song for me. Sing a song of mangoes ripe upon the tree. Sing a song of mangoes falling down to me. Little birdie on the tree, on the tree, on the tree. Little birdie on the tree, a mango for me. Little birdie did not drop the mango down to Camilla and Chrissie as it wanted to eat the mango for itself. I don't like the little birdie anymore, Chrissie frowned. Now, Chrissie had only one good mango to share with her friend Camilla and her sister Nita. She was not happy. And if you see that Chrissie face there, she's got that sneaky, scrawly face because she did not want to share the mango. Don't worry, Chrissie, you can share your mango with us. Chrissie did not answer. Her grandma and mom had always told her that it is good to share. Please go and get Nita, Chrissie asked Camilla. As Camilla went inside to get Nita, Chrissie hid the mango behind little Julie mango tree at the front of the house. Let she wait until Grandma Wiser calls she in. Nita did not, Nita, dinner ain't ready yet. Go with Camilla and tell Chrissie to share she mango with all your, Mommy Tina said. I'm so hungry, moaned little Nita. When they got outside, Chrissie did not have the mango. Where's the mango, Chrissie? Asked Camilla. Your mommy said to share it with Nita. I yam it up already, she said. Nita started to cry, but Camilla did not believe that Chrissie had eaten the mango so quickly. Show me the seed now. If you didn't yam it up, you must have the seed. Really, Chrissie would not get the mango, but the grandma wiser was looking out of the window and saw where she hid the mango. Lunch was ready, and Mommy was serving food. The smell of stewed chicken, rice, and peas and callaloo smelled delicious. Chrissy's mommy had come and brought her a roti and some dal puri for her lunch. I won't be your friend anymore, Chrissy, said Camilla. You hid the mango. Chrissy, go and get that mango from behind that Julie mango tree, shouted Grandma Wiser from the window. Chrissy took the mango from where she had hidden it and gave it to Grandma Wiser. Go and eat your lunch. We will play a game with your mango called Pass the Mango later. She felt ashamed as everyone had heard Grandma Wiser tell her off and took the mango off her. Now the mango game. Do I have more time?
Listen, I would love you to finish reading the entire book, but why would they buy it if we read all? So we have to. Yeah, listen, this story is so intriguing. I want to know about that Pass the Mango game. If you also want to know about that Pass the Mango game, get Yishebah's book. Yishebah, tell us where we can get this book of yours so we can find out what Grandma Wiser was doing with this Pass the Mango game.
Definitely, and the outcome on Christie. The book is available on all Amazon platforms. That's the US, USA, UK. I've even seen it up on Australia. Anywhere you can get Amazon. If you Google Clever Christie and the Mango Stories, you'll be able to get a copy of that book. And if you are in Trinidad, the only places you'll be able to get it for now, you'll have to stop by the local library in Point Fortin. And I think also the Bocas Lit office in Port of Spain, they were sent a copy for an award. But I aim to get the books in the stores in Trinidad, especially as I've got the other book coming out with Clever Christie and the Mango Essay. So I'm also trying to get to see if the Mighty Sparrow will come in as a sponsor, either brand sponsor or funding, because he sang a lot about education, education, it's a Bella Nation. So if I could get him as a partner or as an investor in the Chrissie Wiseau story band in Trinidad, I think that would be amazing. Notwithstanding the fact that the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, he has a copy. When he came to London, I was able to ask a question and sneak in a promo of my book, which he was delighted to have a copy, and spoke to literacy in Trinidad and the importance of reading and authors in Trinidad. So there's also a copy at the High Commission office here in London. But if you want your copy and to find out how Grandma Wiseau used the Pass the Mango game to teach Chrissie to share, get your copy on Amazon, and it'll be with you within a couple of days. So there we
Fantastic.
have it.
I saw you were able to share a copy of your book with the Chief Secretary of Tobago. Thank you,
I
Mr.
forgot
Mr.
about that
Farley
actually.
Yes, yes. And
Yes,
can
he
you
did.
imagine? He came up to London. That's when you gave him the book, right?
And that's when I gave him a copy of the book. Yes,
Fantastic.
yes,
So, and you also gave it to our Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, and to the High Commissioner of the High Commission in London for Trinidad and Tobago.
that's right. He gave me a brilliant audience with him, and
Yes.
I've got copies of photos with him in the book. And we're looking forward to doing a book launch of my other two books when they're out at the High Commission's office.
Listen, this is how you get your books out, right? You make visits, you do
Absolutely.
courtesy calls, you make an appointment, you go in and you give a book, right? And you leave
Uh-huh.
it in one of these offices. You never know who's gonna come by. But we want to thank you for sharing that story from Chrissie and the Clever Chrissie and the Mango Stories. Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the green room, and this is where we share insights for authors and publishers. And today we have a question that was brought to us, and we want to share it with you. When do I start planning my book marketing? And ideally, an author should be in book marketing mode while writing their book, allowing them to weave what we call Easter eggs and promotional and sponsorship opportunities into the fabric of the story. So keep in mind, while you're writing your book, you should be thinking of all the book marketing opportunities that you can take advantage of. And just to give you an understanding of that, what is an Easter egg? So for instance, when you watch Game of Thrones, when you watch these movies and you read these books, they are leaving things in there that you're like, I wonder if this has anything to do with, sometimes you see a birthday being celebrated, it may even be the author's birthday. So they're leaving the date in there that is being celebrated in a book, but it's there, the author's book birthday. So these are what we call Easter eggs, hidden things that you can now pull out in the back of your book, and kind of behind the scenes information that readers love to hear about. Some other promotional ideas and sponsorship ideas. If you're going to be writing a book, let us say about shoes. We have a lot of persons who do shoes in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Local shoemakers, for instance. So just putting it out there. You can contact them and say, listen, I'm writing a book about shoes and I want to name your brand in my book. Would you be open to a sponsorship, partnership opportunity? So all of the, if you already wrote the book, it's hard to go back and put it in. So we want to be in book marketing mode from the very get-go of writing our book, right? Don't wait until you're finished. And we want to thank our sponsors for the Green Room, and that is Mansa Enterprises. This is a book and stationery store right here in Tobago in Calder Hall, and you can get a hold of them at 1-868-238-4017. They're open from Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if you spend at Mansa $500 or more, you will receive a $150 voucher or cash back through the voucher. And if you go to our Facebook, Instagram page and you follow the instructions under that voucher post, you can also win yourself a $150 voucher from Mansa Enterprises. We also want to thank Caribbean Book Marketing Hub, TT, for part sponsoring the Green Room. And the Caribbean Book Marketing Hub is coming out with an author directory soon. And if you're an author, get in contact with Caribbean Book Marketing Hub. There's a QR code on the flyer. There's also a link. And if you fill out the form, you will also be listed for free on that author directory. And you can find Caribbean Book Marketing Hub on Facebook and on Instagram to get further information about that. So thank you to our part sponsors. We also want to thank all the persons who support Book Club Corner, the show. And that is Neve, my good friend Neve with Eye for Design, as well as Joe Fieldwine. He has been so supportive of the show, getting us some, different types of wine to sip and chat with every week. And we want to thank all the persons who have always been supporting the show in terms of making sure we have what we need from time to time. We want to thank you out there. And of course, don't forget that next week we'll be back at it. Another episode of Book Club Corner where we'll be chatting with the sci-fi author Rhonda S.A. Garcia. We're going to be chatting with her next week about her book and about her book prizes. She has won a number of sci-fi genre book prizes, and she is from Trinidad and Tobago, a local girl of the soil, right here from among us. So don't ever say that you can't win anything because you're just an ordinary humbug person, right? You could do great things. So we're looking forward to next week when we speak to Miss Garcia about her book. And we want to thank you for tuning in with us here today with Yishebah Baht Gavriel talking about her book, The Clever Chrissie and the Mango series. And we are tuning out. See you next week. Cheers to you. And we hope you have an amazing rest of the week.